welcome to another edition of There's Nothing Like Church, folks. We're here. We deal with the good, the bad, and the unusual issues in our churches. And I have to say the topic that we're going to be dealing with, it could be unusual, it could be bad, but it has a good ending. Dealing with cancer. Some would say the big C, but I'm happy about the guest that's going to be here today to take the mystery out of the big C. What happens when a woman has been diagnosed with cancer? We're going to talk about that. So help me welcome my guest, Miss Lakeba Wallace. I'm applauding you. Thank you for being here today. You look so beautiful.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Well, thank you. First of all, I just have to say I appreciate you driving all the way from Florida to be here with us at the studio today. It means a lot. So I feel very special.
Yeah, you're most
welcome. Right about now. So tell us, I want you to kind of take us through. I can't imagine being diagnosed. Were you going for a regular routine checkup? What happened?
Initially, I did a breast examination myself and discovered a lump in my right breast and went in to see my primary care doctor. And she did a breast examination just as I did and discovered the lump, sent me to the hospital to have a mammogram done. And upon reading that mammogram, she saw naturally that there was a lump there.
Okay, let me ask you something. Let me stop you right there. Because I take it you're not yet 40?
I'm not.
Okay, so what made, usually we think, okay, once we turn 40, which I'll be turning 40 in 3 months.
It's a blessing.
Yes, it's a blessing. God say the same. So a lot of times we think to not necessarily, I mean, every once in a while I'll do the breast exam, but I don't think of it often. It seems like it's been programmed in us to wait until we're 40.
Yes.
To start. So what made you decide before 40?
And you are absolutely correct. Most women do wait until they're 40 because that's what they hear from different associations.
Exactly.
And also, too, if there's no risk factors in your family, then you feel, why do I need to do a breast examination? And I felt that way as well. Being young, I didn't feel a need to do a breast examination.
Yeah. So what made you? What made you?
I had pain. You know, after having pain in my right breast, I said, something's wrong here. And I began to do a breast examination, and I felt that there was a lump there. So if it wasn't for the pain, I probably would have never went to the doctor and said, something's wrong here. And I encourage all women under 40 to do a self-breast examination. Even if you're not experiencing any pain, you need to be aware of the changes that are going in your breast, in your body. And as a result of that, I sit here today as a survivor, discovering, yes, amen, I'm truly, truly blessed.
And looking beautiful, I must say.
I can't take credits. I give all the credit to the Lord, so I'm definitely grateful that He restored me. But upon discovering the lump, I went to my doctor, as I was saying, went through a series of tests, and after that was being sent home to take birth control pills, which he thought would decrease the cysts. And
birth
also
control pills? I've never heard of that.
Yes. Birth control pills.
With the hormone in the pill or something?
Well, that's what my primary care doctor was indicating to me.
Never heard of that.
Being the woman that God has made me to be, I knew something was not right. And I said, I need to be referred to another doctor. And that request was granted. And I went in, and the very same mammogram that my primary care doctor looked at, the breast surgeon looked at and said, you need to be in surgery immediately. And upon going into surgery, did a breast biopsy, and that's when they found that I was diagnosed with right breast medullary carcinoma.
Wow.
Wow is right.
And those of you all that's been following my shows throughout the years, you know I'm rarely speechless, but I am speechless.
Yeah, it was a very trying time.
How did you get through it mentally, emotionally? There's a woman, her name is Dionne. She's got what's called the Duke House, and I'll be doing a story on her at another time, but it's a house for women that's been diagnosed to come to get pampered, to get built up emotionally and spiritually. And I think you two are going to network and partner and do something.
Yes, we are.
So, but that you didn't have that at that point. So what did you do? How did you get through?
It was very challenging. I can remember going through, well, getting the diagnosis naturally and then going through chemotherapy and radiation. I found myself one early morning laying prostrate on my floor, flat on my face, crying out to God, saying, what do I do? Why is this happening to me? I can't bear this anymore. And I clearly heard God say that trials and tribulations are only steps of elevation. And it was that very word there that made me begin to realize that there is glory in this. And many people say, how do you get glory out of cancer? Well, no, there is no glory out of cancer, but there's glory in what God would do as a result of the cancer.
Wow.
So that's what got me through, just leaning and trusting, not on what I felt, because there was times when I just didn't feel like I was going to make it. There was times when I said, Lord, I feel like I'm losing everything, when in fact I was really gaining everything. It was a period for me to enter into God's rest. And as I rested in His Word, things just began to happen. I began to be restored. My body was healed. And I just encourage any woman that is looking and you're going through breast cancer or going through any illness, whatever it might be, or any situation, to trust and lean on God, because it's that Word, God's Word, that's going to bring you through.
Wow. This is so humbling. It's just, you know, once again, I find myself speechless. But I'm just,
absolutely.
Because I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at how beautiful you are. I mean, you don't even look like you've gone through what you've gone through. And then you say, at some point, you were losing your hair as a result of the chemo. How do you deal with that? Because, you know, as women, we like our hair, whether we buy it, sew it, grow it, wherever. We like something on the head. You know, today is my hair, but tomorrow's show may be a ponytail. No shame in my game. So, I mean, how do you deal with that? And how did you deal with that?
It was very challenging. You're right. I mean, we are women of image. You know, we want to look good, you know, and our hair has to sit and look a certain way. So I believe it's about a week or so after my first chemotherapy treatment, and I can recall my sister just touching my hair and just all of my hair just falling out. And I just burst out in tears. My mom was crying because, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, my image, you know. But then I began to think that I'm God's masterpiece. Whether I have hair or I don't have hair, I am God's masterpiece.
It's like you already had a good measure of self-esteem in terms of not thinking you're all that, nothing like that, but more of knowing who you are and whose you are.
Absolutely.
It's like you had that before.
I did, resting in the confidence of God. But I must say that that was sharpened or taken to the next level once I went through cancer. I realized more and more and more that with God, all things are possible.
Absolutely.
You know, and if I'm able to go through this, then I know that God will take me through that. So I didn't focus on my hair so much. I put a scarf on, matched it with every outfit that I had on.
And called it a day.
And called it a day and said, you know, I'm going out. Glory be to God, because somebody didn't make it. And I made it, and I'm going to represent Him with the scarf or without the scarf. Wow. And that's how I made it.
You are an awesome woman. I bow to you. We as you can see, we have a phenomenal woman in our midst. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you should be the poster child for breast cancer for women. I mean, I have to make sure that I always keep your information, because there are plenty of women that need you. Yes. When we return, we're going to, you know what, to be honest with you, I feel like we should switch and let her host it. And I'll just chip in my little 2 cents every so often here and there.